You know what I find so funny? I find it so funny that there's a lot of people who's been trolling around the online boxing community, making outlandish claims about Gennady Golovkin's career. Okay, there's guys running around saying that Gennady Golovkin is the most feared fighter or the most feared champion of all time. And there's guys saying that Gennady Golovkin's middleweight run is much greater than the likes of Bernard Hopkins, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Marvin Hagler. I can go on and on and on. But yet, when you got guys out here who's actually making videos like Sean Newton, for example, who made a pathetic attempt to break down Gennady Golovkin's resume and, call it a real resume breakdown. And, shout out to Boxing Librarian. He actually ripped that up to pieces. He shot that down because in that video, Newton was trying to give credit to, he was trying to legitimize all of Golovkin's opponents based off the level of opposition they fought, but yet they didn't beat anybody. So how can you give those guys any credit for the fights they didn't win? that's that's like me saying that Chuck Wepner should be one of the greatest fighters of all time because he fought the likes of Muhammad Ali and Ernie Terrell. But he didn't beat those guys. But anyhow, when these guys make these outlandish claims about Golovkin being the most feared fighter of all time and the greatest, has the greatest middleweight run, better than Hagler, Robinson, and Hopkins, whatnot. When we ask, like myself, when I ask guys like Sean Newton and Maxwell Bear to put it up for debate, they decline it. They don't want to do it. They don't even want to put it up for debate. So, again, I was engaging to another conversation with another clown by the name of Hawker Mustang. He's been running around making claims that Gennady Golovkin is the most feared fighter of all time, the most feared champion of all time. Well, basically, Mr. Mustang clearly doesn't know his history. He doesn't know who the Black Murderers Row members were. He didn't know who Sonny Liston was. He sure as hell didn't know Mike Tyson because those guys were greatly feared. Okay, but that's besides the point. Since none of you guys wanted to put it up for debate on Gennady Golovkin's resume on his middleweight run in his career so far, then let me do that for you. I'm going to go ahead and put down another breakdown. As you can see, the man on your left right here of this collage screenshot, take a guess who this guy is on the left. You don't know who this is? Okay, I'll tell you who this is. This is the great Charlie Burley. Yes. And you guys are very familiar with Charlie Burley. And you guys, the only reason why you're very familiar with him because Sugar Ray Robinson infamously ducked Charlie Burley, which his manager came out and openly admitted the reason why they didn't want the Charlie Burley fight was because Charlie Burley's style was all wrong for Sugar Ray Robinson. All wrong. And Charlie Burley is regarded universally the greatest fighter of all time to not win a title. Okay? And he was heavily avoided by many champions and Hall of Famers. Many of them. The fact that Charlie Burley couldn't even get a shot at a world title, he was going up from welterweight up all the way up to heavyweight to find challenges. That's what he did. So anyways, I'm getting a little ahead of the curve here because what I'm going to plan to do is that since nobody wants to take up the debate on Gennady Golovkin's resume, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a career breakdown between Gennady Golovkin versus Charlie Burley. That's right. I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to, I'm going to do that. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because Charlie Burley finished his career as a middleweight, okay? And he was a middleweight that was taking on guys who was outweighing him by like 10, 15 pounds. He was fighting majority of light heavyweights, and he even took some fights at heavyweight as a middleweight. And he beat a whole heap of Hall of Famers and world champions during this process. Of course, obviously, Black Murderers Row members. So anyways, that breakdown is coming. And I know the Golovkin fans are not going to like what I'm going to put down in that breakdown, but it is what it is. I'm going to look at it from an objective perspective on both fighters' careers, okay? And the reason why I was so hesitant to do this to Golovkin because I still have some respect for him in some regards to not do this to him. But since you guys keep doing this, keep putting him above the pedestal among all the other all-time great fighters like Hagler, like Robinson and like Hopkins, okay, at middleweight. But since we already are fond of those guys' careers and their resumes and their legacies, then I'm gonna put him up against somebody else that you guys are not too fond of, and that's Charlie Burley. That's right. So that video is coming in days. The career breakdown matchup: Charlie Burley versus Gennady Golovkin. Who is the greatest, most feared, quote unquote, the most feared middleweight of all time between the two? And obviously, Golovkin is not the most feared middleweight of all time. Let's cut that out. But if you still believe that, then fine, that's your prerogative. But anyways, that breakdown is coming, and again, it's gonna have a lot of information, and some of it you're not gonna like. But too bad. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm out.